Welcome to the Great Indian School podcast. The podcast has finally reached Uttar Pradesh. We are towards the final leg of our phase 1 of the tour, and we are here at the Chintal School, Kanpur, and I have with me Dr. Kavisha Khurana Vij, who is the director of the school. Welcome, ma'am, to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Dhruv.
So, ma'am, we want to understand that, the intention behind this podcast and this conversation is going to be to understand you better as a person, your childhood, what shaped you into the leader that you are today.
Okay.
And of course, we get to see the leader of you, the leader side of you at the conferences, but we don't get to see the personal side of you. So we want to explore a little bit about that. And let's start from the very beginning. Tell us about your childhood. What kind of a student were you?
My childhood, thankfully, I was born to very progressive parents. My mom's from Surat and my dad's a Punjabi here, settled in Kanpur. They were into leather business. They are into leather business. They sent me to the finest school they could afford that time, and it was very good. My mother and my father both have always been encouraging. In fact, when I did not do well, my parents did not mind saying that if you're okay, if you are very uncomfortable in doing a subject like mathematics, you should drop it. And that was the first sign I thought that my parents are there with me. You know, I had a bond with my parents कि अगर मैं कोई गलती करती थी ना, it wasn't like मम्मा पापा को पता चल गया तो क्या होगा. I was like, पापा है ना, संभाल लेंगे. So that was my bond, which now we tell the parents to do. That was my bond with my parents right from an earlyhood. I have a younger brother who's just a year, we both are a year apart, but he's my biggest strength. So thankfully, I've been raised into a very loving and a beautiful family. But of course, I had my own challenges because my mom being into education, say, I'm talking this about 40 years back, that she studied from Mumbai, from Surat to Mumbai. And I had my grandparents and my cousins. We had 5 brothers and I was the only girl. So they were quite protective. Bahar padhne bhejna hai, nahi bhejna hai. But of course, we combated through it all because I knew if I didn't study, then probably at the age of 20s, I'll get married or something. But by God's grace, I found a perfect match. He was also very supportive. So by God's grace, everything's been fine. And me as a student, I was a very naughty student. I was a very naughty child. I don't deny saying it on camera. And we fall, we get up. And as I said, when you get up with more grit, more determination, more confidence. एक बार ऐसा भी हुआ था, पता नहीं I would pass this class or not because I was always on the... But then when you fall, and if you know you have somebody's back, you get up with more determination and then you trust God also more in this process. So I also feel that there's this one superpower which always guides me towards the right path. And if you have trust in God, then I think everything falls in place. And even if things do not go according to your plan, then probably plan B probably is made for you. So you just need to take hint from the superpower.
So are you a religious person in general?
No, not at all. I don't do everyday puja, aarti. I just try to be a very good human being, a kind human being. And I take pride in my religion. But if you say that I do puja and everything every day, no, I cannot.
So you're a spiritual person?
I'm more of a spiritual person. And I'm proud of my religion. I've read the text and I derive inspiration from it, no doubt about it.
Yes.
A lot of inspiration I find in Gita. Gita, when I read it in grade 11th, I couldn't complete it. I'll be very honest, it's not an easy book to read. Yes. When I read it in college, then it was okay. But when I read it now, every time I read it, I have an answer to a different question. Yes. So that's the beauty of the religious book I've read.
So do you ever recommend reading Gita to students as well? Have you ever done it?
No, because it has to come from inside. No.
Okay.
I've never. But of course, there are children version of Gita, there are children version of many religious books. It needs to come from inside. Yeah. You need to have that maturity to understand it's not a text to read. And the generation of Twitter, jo 40 text padhte hain, need to have that patience also. So it's okay.
Yes. Also, I know that you won the Asia 1 40 under 40 Young Achievers Award. How was it? What sort of leader would you tag yourself to be?
I would tag myself, I won't tag myself as a leader because I would tag myself as a learner before a leader.
Okay.
Because I love learning. I've learned so much from you today while you were doing little things. You need to go beyond your job so that you can be a learner. And after you are a good learner, only then you can be a good leader. A leader also needs to learn every day. You cannot be at the top and stop learning. You have to learn. And sometimes you have to unlearn and relearn. It isn't like that. I have been brought up way, my sons will be brought up that. No, that's not the way the life. Change is the only constant thing which everybody, every parent, every child should know. Probably you're not okay today with academics, you can be tomorrow. So change is the only constant thing. Just trust yourself, believe in yourself, and if ever somebody thinks that it is not meant for me, you can change the track, but you're not never supposed to give in life. Keep moving. Life's a roller coaster. We've all heard it. There'll be ups, there'll be downs. But you need to trust that instinct, that gut feeling, and of course, have faith. Everything will be okay.
So you told about your parents, right? That you both are in the leather industry, and your mother has an education background. So when if I ask you that who inspired you more as a person, so you know what we do is as we grow up, we realize, yeah, I'm a lot like my mother. Yeah, I'm a lot like my father. Who do you think influenced you more?
Papa. I'm still a papa's girl, and I do not I do not mind it saying it anyway. I am full on papa's girl. My favorite person on the planet is my dad. He spoiled me. He's spoiling my kids. So yeah, it is okay to be spoiled, and you will become a failure. No, it's okay. So it's hands down papa all the time.
Nice.
And I've been blessed to get married into a family where, it's very rare you see that there is a beautiful bonding. A school is being run collaboratively with a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
I don't think you've been to schools like those enough, but I get a lot of strength from her. In fact, I feel she works the maximum in the whole school. She leaves home at 6, she comes back at 6 in the evening till all the children have reached back home. So I see her, and sometimes I feel she's grown. She started the school with 4 students, and now she's been growing. How much will I be able to grow? But yes, the person you derive strength and inspiration from, you sometimes, and she feels very proud of me when I surpass it. She says, that's it. So that's a very beautiful thing. If 2 women can run the show.
So well, so wonderfully.
That's so kind of you.
But this was a point that I was anyway going to come to, that, I was in a room full of educators, and there was a discussion that someone said that we don't see enough women in education. And another gentleman who differed, he said, you see that there is 70% of workforce in schools is women. But then the point that comes is how many of those women are in power. We see a lot of teachers who are women. We see a lot of female teachers. But again, the people who are running the show are men. The directors, the founders, the owners, and the big corporations. When you see the people in power, they are men. So what do you have to say about that? Do you think education in particular need more women leaders? And is it a patriarchal sector till now?
As I always said, that things are changing constantly. Yes, there are men. I never ever, talent has no gender. Like I saw in that movie Gunjan Saxena, ki plane ko nahi pata na kaun plane uda raha hai. It's the pilot, right? So same goes with the head. If somebody is good enough, if somebody has that ambition, and of course, where women lack, I feel sometimes it is the societal pressure or the pressure of the family, or they are told like, okay, now they are told, or maybe it's their personal choice that they want to be more with the family, more with their children, and let the man run the show. It is up to the women to decide. You, I, or the society, I feel, is nobody to judge. It is absolutely her choice. Thankfully, I got married into the family where mom had already started this thing, so I had to take it to a step higher. But everybody is not that blessed or privileged, whatever you can say. So yeah, there are people who are building it up. They are growing a lot. but everything takes its own course to change. So of course, yes, there should be more women involvement. There should be everything more. But even as a woman, I cannot handle everything. Like sometimes I say, finance is not my cup of tea. Aditya, you handle it, or something like that. So it's always men and women being together. Only then can you survive. Even in gods, अगर अर्धनारेश्वर नहीं है, then Shiva is incomplete without Parvati. Likewise, it is the world, yin and yang. If women and men do not work together, that society, that education, everything needs to come down. The change will come gradually, probably in the next generation, because my son has seen me working, so he will want probably his better half or his partner to work,
Yes.
and not only raise the children. So it's the generation, how they have grown up. So I won't blame anybody for it, but it will duly take the course of time, and we have seen women progressing, and they will certainly progress. But both the genders need to work together.
And one more thing about people working together, and I think a lot of discussion today was about teacher training your teachers. And do you still think that, if you as a leader who had to decide that if a teacher is coming in, do you still think that a parameter of a B.Ed degree makes a person good teacher?
B.Ed is mandatory according to the laws, and of course we would see a B.Ed because CBSE mandate says so, but just being a B.Ed is not enough. To be a teacher, there are many more qualities to it. B.Ed can be a very good on paper, but does it teach you patience? No, it doesn't. You have to be patient with children. The 40, 30 odd children in your class, everybody has a different talent, everybody has a different shortcoming. And so do you have a teacher. You need to work on your shortcoming. You need to be patient. You need to believe in all of the 40 children who are there in your class. Only then can you make a change. Just to be a degree may give you an edge because it teaches you a little psychology, but on the paper and when you come to the class, very different things. Very different things. We all know all the courses we do, but when we go out to work, they're very different from what we've been taught inside the classroom. I always believe that more lessons are taught outside the classrooms. It's probably collaborative learning. Very important chapter of the life is learned outside the classroom, which is failure on this first ground. In competitions, it's okay to fail, it's okay to lose, but get up and just do it.
Any sport you played, any co-curricular you played?
I was a national level debater. I was very good with oratory. I had played basketball. I know my size doesn't look that, but yeah. I was swimming till last month, and I could do 50 lengths. I was very happy about it by the last time I left. Before that, I was playing badminton. Yeah, so too much into sports because I feel that sports teaches you a lot. Focus, patience, perseverance, and जो कहते हैं ना resilience, not resistance, resilience comes from sports. Nice. Big time.
And so now we'll play a quick rapid fire to end the conversation. And so are you ready for it?
Yeah.
Quick question, quick answers. One book or film that every teacher must read or watch?
3 Idiots.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure snack when you need a break?
Chocolate.
And what's your favorite, do you cook?
Very rarely.
Your favorite cuisine?
I like Mexican, Chinese, I like eating. That's okay.
Nice. So, is your mother Gujarati?
She's a Punjabi from Gujarat.
From Gujarat. So,
yeah.
Which cuisine do you like, Gujarati or Punjabi?
My bhabhi is apparently from Jalandhar, and my mom's from Gujarat. So, when Punjab and Gujarat are together in the kitchen, you see a beautiful outcome come out of it. So it's okay. So
what would you choose, a dhokla or a samosa?
I'll choose a dhokla.
Nice.
I'll choose a dhokla.
But what tops the list of dishes? Your comfort food?
My comfort food would be pani puri.
Oh, amazing.
Definitely pani puri. It would be street side.
Nice. That's the best one, actually.
Yeah.
If not for education, what would you have pursued as a career?
Probably performing arts, because I'm a trained Kathak dancer and I performed in a lot of groups, and I had worked in Shakespearean theatres also. So probably performing arts for sure.
Nice.
And I'd also studied journalism and I'd worked with CNN, IBN. So either journalism or performing arts.
So we would have been on the same sides if you
Probably,
you chose that.
but I feel that the change which I can bring here, I wouldn't have brought if I was in performing arts. I don't know, but I'm loving what I'm doing. I always loved what I did, whether I was working as a performer or I was into sports or I was into anything I've been throughout or a journalism. I'd loved every part of what I had done.
What's one thing every student should learn before leaving school? One particular skill.
I won't call it a skill, but I would call it a life lesson. In fact, two. Life will not go every time according to your will. Because in school, they are under a shell. They know there are protectors. So, number one, they need to learn that life is not going to be fair always. You need to come out even if the life is unfair. And secondly, it is okay to cry. It is okay to talk. But talk. Vent out your feelings. 700 friends and followers on Instagram does not mean you're popular. What you're inside when you sleep, just look at yourself in the mirror that do you have one or two people whom you can talk at 3 a.m. in the night, you're successful in life.
Nice.
And of course, what Three Idiots said, "Aisa ke meeche mat bhago, kamyabi jak maar ke aayegi." Run after what you like, and of course, probably it will follow.
Nice. A teacher from your school days you will never forget, and any particular subject. or-
Yeah, my history teacher, I would say, very close to her, very good teacher. But I've lost touch with her today. Also, I had one of my economics teacher, of course, but I would give a lot of credit to a few of my college teachers who pushed me to pursue further, go out. So teachers do make a lot of impact. And of course, my mom. I'd never taken tuitions in my entire life
Nice.
because my mom was always there.
All right, that's great. Lovely talking to you. I think we should end the conversation here.
Likewise.
And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so
Lovely
much, Joe. It
talking
was
to
a
you.
pleasure. Thank
Same
you, Joe.
here.